Hey guys, and welcome to the first podcast. Now, you may be thinking you're in a different view but the same room. Yes, I am. I'm currently sat down on my chair. Because we're going to be here for a long time, because this is podcast number 1. And this week, we are talking about gaming as a whole. And, the stuff that is happening to do with it at the moment. And it will be something different than what we normally talk about. So, I will be here for a relatively long time, but I only have a maximum of 59 minutes to do this, because that is how much storage I have left on my phone. 59 minutes of recording. And I know that because it says at the top of my camera. So thank you very much. So anyway, this is podcast number 1. I'm going to talk about the game. So, what is going on with gaming at the moment, and where is it going? Well, for starters, games have started to die out. Especially games that are a few years old, or even older than that. For example, Minecraft's gone again, pretty much. Like, I'm seeing less and less people on my friends list playing it. Fortnite's gone again, like completely, just dead. And the only reason I think it come back was because of the new season. But now that it's gone a bit dry again, it's now going again. So less of my friends are on that. And Call of Duty Warzone is out, and there is a lot of hype for that, and people are playing this. So, let's talk about this in order. We'll start with Minecraft. Minecraft, it started dying again. And I think I know the reason. It's an old game, and the update, which was the last big update, was the Bees one, which only had a couple of things in it. And the one before that was the Village and Pillage last year. And there's not really been much content-wise on Minecraft, which is normal. But I think what happens is people get a little bit bored over time with the whole Minecraft theme, and people get a certain way through their survival or their creative world, and they just get a little bit bored of that world, so they want to make a new one. They get bored of that one, and then after a while, after like 2 or 3 worlds, they think, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, and getting bored at the same time all the time, and they're just leaving it and going on to something different, which it will be fast paced. There'll be something new. There's different ways of doing things. With Minecraft, there's pretty much only a couple of ways you can do things. You can go adventuring, but first you need to build a base. You need to get your food. You need to make a mob farm. You need to get your end busting, your nether, all that stuff. It's the same every single world, just that the world you're in is slightly different. Which for me, I like, because there's that consistency there, and the faster you get at things, the faster you'll be getting through that world, or you can have fun changing up or building a massive base, playing with your mates, whatever, just having a fun time on it. Where for other people, that can be relatively hard to do. Most people do like fast-paced changes. That's what killed off Minecraft to start with. There were no changes for a couple of years, or for a year or whatever, when Microsoft first bought off Minecraft. There was no updates. People left. And people got back in once the massive updates started dropping, like the Aquatic, the Village and Pillage, the new Nether update. And yeah, that is what's happening with Minecraft. It is slowly dying, which, it is a given. All games do eventually die out. Which, it's sad, because some games are brilliant games. There will always be great games. But they're just slow, or they lose kind of like the player base or whatever. And then there's some people that still like the game. Like me, I still love Minecraft. It's always been one of my favourite games. I've even got a sticker on my Xbox. Hang on. I've even got a sticker of Minecraft written on my Xbox. So yeah, whenever Minecraft dies, which has died 3 times now, it is kind of sad in a way, because you'll be on your own playing it when you want to play it, which I'm on my own playing it anyway. But there's no chance of you playing with people. I mean, it will still have a pretty big player base. It's always had a pretty big player base, but I think the reason it's not doing as well at the moment is because there's been no content for a relatively long time. When I say no content, I mean a lot of content. Not just a few little updates like the Bees update where it was like one or two things that were added in, but big updates that changed the way you play the game, or they have a massive update to something that you would have used once. For example, the aquatic update. It changed the oceans throughout the whole world. The rivers were changed. Everything was changed. New items, stuff like that. They were all added in. And it changed the way people played. And the player base just shot up straight away. Then it started going down. It reached its peak, then went down again. Once, the content started getting a bit dry. And then the Village and Pillager come out. It changed, villages and how iron farms, etc. Raids were added in. And the player base went up again. Then it reached a peak, went down again. Which is what we've just seen. Then the Bees, and we did actually see a gentle climb in viewership again, or player base, when that came up. But it didn't really rise as much. It, went off quite quickly because there wasn't really that much of an update, which it was mainly bug fixes. So, it was a great update, but not content-wise. It was more of, the game stability and going through it all. I mean, we do always have a hotfix, but this was just sorting out bugs that have been in the game for a hell of a long time and just removing them, which was great. But for the players that don't always come against those bugs, it was a bit dry, content-wise. I mean, we did get the bugs, and they were just bees. We could have got a couple of different ones, maybe ants, whatever. That might have made the player base go up a bit. But the main update, or the main reason the update was about, was because of the bug fixes, and they just wanted to add a content so that it looked like it did do something. And then you got the Bedrock exclusive update, which is coming after the Nether one, which is the parity update, where it's bringing, games, or not games, the items from Java Edition into Bedrock to kind of pair them together and make them one game, because at the moment Java and Bedrock are two completely different games throughout most aspects of the game. They're totally different. Redstone is different. You got blocks are different. The Nether's different. Even at the moment, without the Nether update being out, it's still different. And I think that will, hopefully change with the Nether update, where they'll start to bring the parity in. They've already started by bringing in the Wither Rose and a couple of blocks like that. But we don't have, the abilities that Java has. Java will always be the best version. I'm pretty sure of that. Because you got all these different customizable things that you can't really do on Bedrock easily, because it being console, and mainly console really. Windows 10 Edition isn't as big as consoles, or Pocket Edition isn't as big as consoles. Pocket Edition and Windows 10 are big versions of Bedrock, but they aren't as big as console. PlayStation just come into Bedrock, and it is harder to write the coding for the Bedrock than what it is for Java. I know from coding in lessons or coding at home for a bit of fun, making games that don't really have any meaning to them and don't really work, just testing it out, and knowing Python and coding itself. I know decent amount, and it is harder to do on some things because of the storage ability. PCs will always have more storage. Even with the new Xbox coming out, it will have more storage. But, they'll probably find a way to do it. But yeah, what I'm saying is that Minecraft's player base will always be quite big. However, it is going down again. But it will come back up in the new update. It always does. Most games, if they are relatively massive games, for example, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Minecraft, Warzone, stuff like that, they will always return when there's a big update. Always will. Always has. So nothing will change in that department. So let's move on to the next game. Now, the next game I want to talk about is Apex Legends. Now, I've gone off it. I've never been a massive Battle Royale fan. The only Battle Royales I've ever played, really, are Apex, Fortnite, and Minecraft Hunger Games, which is now called Survival Games because of copyright reasons. But let's face it, it's just Hunger Games, yeah? But yeah, Apex. It started off rubbish. I couldn't stand it to start with. Then Season 4, it was okay, but there's no updates for that thing. Well, there is updates, but they're small updates. They don't really change the meta, or they don't really change much to do with the game. and it's basically just a normal Battle Royale game, but with special abilities, which is amazing. But with no updates, and it just feels repetitive, especially how small the map is and how, there's not really much to do when you're playing free. Because I haven't spent any money on Apex. I don't really like spending money on video games. I don't know why, I just don't. But if you think about it, if you want to play free, there's not many games you can do that. So the games that are free basically have add-ons that they want you to buy. Which, kind of defeats the object. And with Apex, I think it is very much, if you don't pay, you're not as good. Or you're not as good. But it's almost pay to win with some of the characters you can play, which you can unlock, but it takes a hell of a long time. And I've gone off it because, I'm either getting dominated because my characters are the free ones and I can't keep up with the ones that have that, or I'm playing well, I'm getting the wins or the kills, but then it's just the same thing every game. It's just too repetitive, which, I did say before, I do like some repetition, but not when it's just every single game about 5 minutes long. You get down, you loot, you kill, you win. Get down, you loot, you kill, you win, etc., etc. Especially when you start from nothing, go up to the top relatively quickly. It's probably about 15, 20-minute games. I just don't really like that. I like games with difference. And that's what happened to Apex for me. I just went off it because it started getting dry. I didn't really like the content. And that is all to say about Apex, really. Haven't really got anything else because I'm not a fan of it anymore. So I don't know anymore. I've gone off it massively. So, next we have got Fortnite Battle Royale and Creative Mode and Save the World. Let's just call it Battle Royale for now. Just Fortnite. Let's call it Fortnite. Now, I'm still a fan of it. Not as big as a fan, but I am still a fan. And I'm not ashamed to admit that because if I want to play a game, I want to play that game. I don't care what anyone else thinks. It's my life. I'm choosing to play those games. I'm having fun. So it doesn't matter. And the reason I'm not having that much fun at the moment with it is because it's a bit dry. As I've just said, there's not really any content coming out as such. You've had a couple of content or some tweaks to guns. But the main issue I have is that I'm going against absolute major good players, and I'm not a really good player. I'm an okay player, don't get me wrong. Like, I can get wins or I can get kills, but not that great a player. But I'm getting matchmade, because the new matchmaker system where it's you put with people above your ability, I'm being put with absolute sweats, and I just can't get the wins at the end of the game because I've had to box fight throughout the whole game, ran out of mats, or I'm low health because I've ran out of meds, whatever. So I'm just getting killed by a third party or something. Because people are getting too good for the game. That is what kills a lot of games. I have found that once people do get too good for a game, then the people that don't have that time to just spend on grinding. For example, if you're a pro, you'll enjoy that game. But if you're a noob, and you're getting put with people that are too good, then you'll start leaving that game because you don't have the time. You might not have the time to, be the best of the best or put all your time into it because you want to play other games. You're just playing casually, which I find like this new custom matchmaking, whatever it's called, it is killing off Fortnite because they added in bots for less able players, which is good on paper, but then that also means that the lesser able players are now questioning, was that a real player? Was that not a real player? Because they want to fight real people. That is the whole point of the PvP. It's not PvE with Save the World. It's PvP, but they're going against bots, which are entities, not players. By the way, PvE is player versus entity. PvP is player versus player. Just want to get that out there. But that is what killed off Fortnite. People were questioning what was what. And it was also, Season 1, Chapter 2 was also very dry because no content really was added. There were very few updates. There was nothing that changed. It was just the same meta because there was only a few guns. And I got the reason why they did it. They wanted to take it back to the start and start again. But it doesn't work. Once your game is too big, it won't work going back to what it was originally with not having many updates. You need to keep that player base. And they couldn't. They didn't do that. So they lost their player base. And Fortnite just dropped. Like, Season X was the worst season in Fortnite. Even if you look on records, it was their worst season. There were more complaints on that season than there were in any other season, almost combined. And what they did, they over-updated it. There were too many updates to change the meta, especially for content-wise or for their competitive players. There was just too many changes that season. You can't just every week add a new location in. And the mechs were just, we don't even need to go into that. But they were just too OP. So what they did in Season 1 is they under-updated it. They didn't take the note out of the last season where they over-updated it. They want to go somewhere in the middle where they, even if they don't go back to what they were like Season 8, Season 9, Season 7, and Season 6, where there was like an update a week. Even an update every fortnight, or like an update every week, but the one week's just bug fixes, the next week's a new weapon or something. Because if you look at it, Season 8 was an amazing season. It had the free battle pass, which was a brilliant thing for them to do, but you also had content, new weapons or something new every week, and that was incredible. Especially as the World Cup was that season, I believe. No, Season 9. I don't know. It was one of the seasons, but it was around that time, and they were doing content every week, new weapon, new vehicle, new something or other, and it was every week. Yet no pros or a couple. Wait, there were pros complaining, but there weren't many complaints. Like, it was an amazing season. Even Season 5, which is the greatest season, Fortnite's peak was Season 5. And why, you may be asking? That's simple. People weren't too good for the game. Noobs could still get kills, or noobs could get wins. Pros were getting put with people that are less ability, so they could meme, they could have fun, people could play casually. It was like that. And, the meta was so different every game, because there were so many guns, so many different heals, so many different vehicles, etc. And it was just incredible. And, true, their live event wasn't the greatest. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty awful. But what did we have live event-wise in this season so far? We haven't. I know that season's not old. It's 4 weeks old. But that is still a considerable amount of time without any content, really. Like, there's been a couple, but not much. Like, there's been some tweaks and everything like that. But they're still pretty dry. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's almost identical to Chapter 1 as well. Except you've got a couple of new locations, and there's been one place that got changed. And that is the Middle Island. That wasn't even the main location. They just removed a house that had 6 chests and added it with a location which is a bit like Tilted Towers. But that's all they did. Really, that added locations. Okay, an update. To be fair, another location has been changed, but that is one of the new ones that's only around for 3 weeks before it got changed. Which, that was great content-wise. For players, that was great. But there wasn't enough. And Fortnite is going down again because there isn't enough content to keep the player base. And there's also players going to Warzone. So let's talk about Warzone. Call of Duty Warzone. New game, new Battle Royale. Seems legit. Apart from the fact, it's not. A lot of their stuff is stolen from stuff like Fortnite, Apex Legends. And then they've also got their own stuff, which is great. I like when people do that. I don't care about people stealing other people's stuff, as long as it's not full-on stealing where copyright stuff needs to get involved. If they're just borrowing the idea or making it their own, I like it. For example, Apex had their reboot system, where you can reboot your friends. Fortnite added that in, and now Warzone have added it in by you either paying to get your friends back, or you winning a 1v1. That is an amazing system. they could easily implement that into Fortnite, which is a great game, and that will boost the player base back. I'm pretty sure of it. And even having stuff like the currency you got in Warzone, it's great. However, I do find it a bit boring. The only issue I have with it is that it's battle royale, and I'm not a massive battle royale person, as I've already said. It's not my thing. I'm more of a content or a casual player, not a get the best of the best. Which is why I'm a massive lover of Minecraft. You don't have to be a best of the best to play. You just need to be able to play. I've got one of my friends called Brad. He's just recently got back into Minecraft after about 8 years of not playing it. And, he's a massive noob. And I've been teaching him, and we're both having a lot of fun playing it. I've done a bit of work without him on it, the world. We've built a base, starter base. It's not a nice one, it's a base. And we've gone exploring. We were in peaceful mode for a bit, just to get him used to it. And we'll be going into easy mode next. But we're playing casually, we're just having a bit of fun together. Whereas on some of these games like Warzone, Apex, Fortnite, you can't play casually much anymore because people are too good at the game. It's all the same, really, isn't it? If you're good at, for example, Fortnite, you'll probably be good at Apex. You'll probably be good at COD Warzone because they are the same thing. They've both got the guns that shoot at kind of the same way and stuff like that. Now, I know it's not the original Battle Royale games, but they are the big ones at the moment. And you know what? I'm happy for it. Now, one thing Fortnite did do that I was incredibly amazed at was the creative. Creative being free and as good as it is amazing. You get death runs, you get loads of different modes that you used to have to make in playgrounds. You now get to do for free and keep them. That is incredible. I love it. It's been around for a couple of seasons and I'm still having a lot of fun. Probably about a year it's been out now and I'm still loving it. Every bit of it. Not every bit. But I do find that people are using it to their advantage. For example, they just use their building on it to get better at the game, which if they're not getting better at the game, they get better at building. And they can build, but they can't shoot. Some people are just being sweats, building up, you knock it down, you're dead. You leave the game because you've got mad or something that you're better than that player. Even though you're probably not, you just know how to build. Which, if you go back to the original seasons from season 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and even the pre-seasons, if you saw someone that was good at building or they're good at shooting, they'd played the game a lot. Not they'd gone into creative mode with their friends and just 1v1 for a bit. They've played the game, and I loved that. And even when they had playgrounds in, no one really used it, to keep their stuff or to just have 1v1s. They did use it to 1v1s. You had to loot, you had to get all your stuff, you had to get your farming, all of that stuff that you don't have to do in creative mode. You can just pop it off and away you go within seconds. And that kind of ruined it for a lot of players. But anyway, COD Warzone, not my thing, not my cup of tea. Don't really like it, it's uninstalled. Along with Apex. Fortnite is still installed, because I'm still a fan of it, and Minecraft's still installed. Out of the few games I've talked about. So let's move on to the next one, which is one I haven't played for a while. And this is Minecraft Java Edition. I haven't played it for a while because I haven't got the PC. But I love the edition. It's amazing, but it's so different to Bedrock Edition on Minecraft, which what I talked about earlier, that it's just a different game. It's completely different. There's only a few things in that game that are the same as Bedrock, which I'm kind of annoyed about, but then I'm also happy about. Because some of the stuff is, not supposed to be on console, or aims you to get the Java Edition, and you don't just keep the console or the Bedrock Edition. You want to get the better version, and I quite like that about it. However, some of the things I would like to see in Bedrock, for example, the customizable super flat worlds, doesn't really change much. It's basically just creative mode, and it makes it easier for people like me that want to practice their redstone or their building in a creative world before actually building it in survival, so they don't mess up their builds. I'd want that. I'd use it. then you've also got stuff like servers. They do have servers in Minecraft Bedrock, but no one plays them because there's not that crossability, or there's people just make their servers Java only because it's easier to do, or you don't have to pay as much, etc., etc. And I'd love to be able to go on to, for example, Cosmic Sky or Cosmic Prisons or Cosmic Factions. You can't do that because they're Java only because it was easier and cheaper. I'd love to play it, but I can't because I don't have the PC, which is annoying because I have the game, I just haven't got the right game. Even though it's the same game, but it's not the same game because there's so difference between it. When Notch was the owner of Minecraft, he was, he wanted to keep them almost the same. There were some better things with Java, and then you had some better things with console. But they're just too different to just conjoin. Whereas at the time, they were just easily just together. They were, matched pretty well. Some of the meta was different on them. For example, you have the 2 different combat systems, which now with the parity update, they're making a new one, but they're both together. I love it. I love the fact they're joining the games together. But anyway, I think that is enough for this video. So, I would like to thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. If you have made it this far, please drop down podcast, just the word podcast in the comment section, or DM me the word podcast. Just, that's it. Nothing else, just that. And I know that you guys are liking this. If you are liking it, please drop a like. And if you aren't already, subscribe and turn that notification bell on so that you don't miss another podcast or a Steinecraft video or a talk video. But anyway, thank you very much guys for watching. It has been a long one. I have enjoyed it. And if there is anything you want me to talk about next time on the podcast, please let me know in the DMs at TBC, DillPriceX_ on Instagram, #ad. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much guys for listening, and goodbye.